This is Mary James with Passive House Accelerator. Thanks for tuning in to this special bonus episode of the Passive House podcast, recorded at PhiusCon 23 in Houston, Texas.
Hi there, good to see you.
A big thank you to Zola Windows for their support of the series. Welcome, Maren. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell us what company you're with and how long that company has been doing Passive House.
I work with Sam Rodell Architects in Spokane, Washington, and Sam was one of the very early adopters of Passive House. He went through Phius training, maybe 15 years ago, and we've been doing Passive House projects ever since. I've been working with Sam since 2011, and currently on the Phius Alliance board, as well as working with the Phius certification team, and I'm on the Phius instructor team.
Now, as I remember, Eastern Washington isn't exactly what you would describe as a hotbed of Passive House activity.
Correct.
And yet you guys have been working there for a long time.
Yep.
Can you tell us how you managed to spread the Passive House word and create Passive House projects in an area that isn't exactly warmly receptive?
Right. Well, there are a few people doing Passive House in Eastern Washington, in the inland Northwest. We have several builders that are on board with Passive House and very supportive. We have taken the approach over the last 10 years that every project is a Passive House project. It's what we do. It's the way we design. And it's been gratifying to see a change over the years, that people are searching us out because that's what we do. Our geographic scope has expanded because of that.
To where?
Most of our projects are in the Spokane, Eastern Washington area, but we have projects as far as Western Montana, Seattle, Oregon. Got a project in the Caribbean happening right now.
No, really?
Yeah, we do.
Is it a passive project?
A passive single-family home, Passive House inspired, being in a very different climate zone. There's somewhat of an open air effect to parts of the project.
I can easily imagine, because natural ventilation must be a huge help in that climate.
Yeah. It's a very comfortable climate.
Yeah. Well, that's quite out of your comfort zone to be.
Yeah.
Do you personally, I understand you do training. So for Phius, what kind of trainings have you been involved in?
So I've been with the Phius instructor team for quite a few years, starting before COVID when the training was in person. I did CPHC courses mostly in Western U.S., Seattle, Portland, Boulder, Colorado. Now trainings have moved. Of course, trainings are all virtual now, so I teach the CPHC course in the online format, so I get to have students from across the country. That's been really fun.
And is that more challenging because you're dealing with a range of different climates, or is it just fun to have?
Oh, it's just fun to see the background of the students, the projects that they're currently involved in. When I started teaching, a good majority of the students were fairly new to Passive House and to Phius, and it was like drinking from the fire hose. Everything was new, but I've seen an evolution over the years that now the majority of my students actually have their hands on a Passive House project already, and they're doing the training because they need it now. It's not a forward thinking or looking to the future, anticipating hopeful projects to come, but most of my students actually have projects in the works, at least one, sometimes several bigger projects. I see a lot of multifamily projects, so I'm very interested in the work that they're doing. It's great to see the progress.
And do you also do verification for Phius?
I'm on the certification team, so I've been reviewing projects. Again, progress is happening there. We have a full team of certifiers. I've seen lead times for project reviews go from we'll get to it when we can to now it's a very predictable cycle of working through the rounds of review with a very timely feedback, and the response times are just so much better now.
Well, that's great, particularly given that there's an increased demand.
Huge. Yeah, we've seen an exponential growth curve in project certifications, and it's fantastic to see that we are working through those very quickly and getting timely feedback to projects that are larger projects with bigger budgets, bigger deadline, timelier the time scale of projects. So it's gratifying to see that we can meet that need.
Well, it's really nice to have you stop by and chat with us, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.